Shells are something which we most commonly see if we come to a seashore. Now, what these shells are actually made up of? These shells are made up of calcium carbonate, and these are actually produced by living organisms. Organisms mostly of which fall into the phylum Mollusca. So, let's study about phylum Mollusca more in detail in this video. The word mollusca of phylum Mollusca has been taken from a Latin word known as mollis or molluscus, both of which means soft bodied. So molluscans are actually soft bodied animals which enclose themselves or which protect themselves by shell. The shell which they produce, they can be external or it can be internal, or it is also absent in organisms like octopus. Phylum Mollusca is also the second largest phylum of the kingdom Animalia in the number of species that it has. So let's study about the phylum Mollusca in more detail. The members of phylum Mollusca are found in terrestrial as well as in aquatic environment, and that too they are mainly marine and few freshwater forms. The habits of these organisms include that they are mainly free living and only few organisms are parasitic. So they are majorly found in terrestrial as well as aquatic environment, majorly in marine environment, that is in the sea water, and they may be free living or they may be parasitic forms. Now, level of organization in these organisms is the organ system level, that is their body is formed of many systems: digestive system, circulatory system, excretory system, nervous system. These are the various systems which are found in these organisms. The body plan. Now, their body plan also, just like the phylum Arthropoda, just like the phylum Annelida, is tube within tube plan, where the body comprises of two tubes. The outer tube is the body wall and the inside tube is the digestive canal or the gut. This is a picture depicting their body plan. We can see this is a picture of a mollusk in which the digestive system starts from here, that is, this is the mouth, and it leads to the opening known as anus. So this is a tube within tube plan where one tube is the digestive system and the other tube comprises of the whole body wall. Now let's talk about their symmetry. These organisms are bilaterally symmetrical. That means there is only one plane through which, when we cut these organisms, we would get equal left and right halves. So we can see over here, this is a picture of mollusks. When we cut this organism from this plane, we get two equal halves. And similarly, if we cut this organism, that is an oyster, by one plane, we get two equal halves. So we can say that mollusks exhibit bilateral symmetry. Next, let's come to their germ layers. These organisms are triploblastic, that is, their body is formed of three germ layers: the outer, that is the ectoderm, the middle mesoderm, and the inner endoderm. These organisms also have a coelom, so they are known as coelomate organisms. We can see in the picture over here the presence of outer ectoderm, then the middle mesoderm, and the inside endoderm present over here. Along with this, we can also see a true coelom, that is a coelom which is lined by mesoderm on both the sides. So this white color space depicts the coelom which is lined by mesoderm on both the sides. So the coelom is true coelom, or they can also be known as eucoelomate organisms. The coelom in them is actually reduced, and it is formed in only very specific locations like the gonads, around the heart, around the kidneys. This is what the coelom is. So reduced coelom is the correct point for these organisms. Next, let's come to their body. Body of these organisms is very soft. That is the reason we use the word mollusca for them. And this body is organized in 3 regions. There are 3 main parts of this body. One is the head, other is the foot, and the third forms the visceral hump. We can have a look at this picture that this is the very first part of the body, that is the head. Then this whole hump like structure forms the second part, that is the visceral hump, and the third foot like structure forms the third part of the body. So the body is divided into 3 parts, that is the head, then comes the foot and the visceral hump. Along with this, there is a soft and spongy layer of skin which forms the mantle over the visceral hump. So we can see over here that this is the visceral mass area, and over this there is a layer known as the mantle. The mantle is formed by a layer of skin over the visceral hump, and this mantle encloses the mantle cavity, as well as it is the one which secretes the calcareous shell. Now, I would like to recollect that this shell can be either external, either it can be internal, or it can be absent also in some organisms. So, let's look at the shell. This is the shell which is secreted by this organism known as the snail, and the shell in this case can be told to be external because it is visible from outside. Now let's talk about their skeleton. So their body has 1 or 2 calcareous shells, and we have already told that the shells may be external or internal. Let's look at an example of an internal shell. We have seen the external shell in the case of Pila, that is the apple snail. And here we are seeing an internal skeleton, that is in the form of a shell in an organism known as cuttlefish. The shell can also be absent in some organisms, for example octopus. Octopus does not have a shell-like structure. The shell, as we have discussed, can either be one, that is, one complete shell is surrounding the organism, or they can be 2 shells, and in that case we call the shell as bivalve shell. So it can either be a univalve shell or it can either be a bivalve shell, which is generally seen in the case of oysters. Oysters are the ones which release out pearls. So the sea oyster have a bivalve shell, whereas the example of apple snail that we saw over here has a univalve shell. Now let's talk about some of their digestive system. Digestive system in these organisms is complete, that is, it has both mouth as well as anus, and the digestion in them is extracellular. So we can see in the picture over here that this is the opening known as mouth, and this is another opening known as anus, and that is the reason we say that the digestive system is complete because of 2 openings. The mouth in these organisms, now this is a very important point to recollect, that is, mouth in these organisms have a special structure known as radula. So this is the mouth area, and this whole structure is known as radula. What exactly is radula? Radula is a feeding organ which has rows of chitinous teeth. We can see over here, these are small chitinous teeth which are present in this organ. This radula actually, it protrudes back and forth. It cuts the feeding substance into small parts. So the food is going to be rasped, or it can be cut into very small parts, and that is the reason radula is also known as the rasping organ. So this is a very important point to remember, that is, the rasping organ is radula. This is the rasping organ. We can see in the picture, this is the way in which the radula moves back and forth and it rasps the food particles into small bits. So this is a characteristic feature of mollusks. To buy these books, you can go to www.cengage.co.in, or you can also find the links in the video description given below. Thank you.